Hello and welcome. We'll begin with visualization basics. So let's first understand types of data we normally deal with as ClickSense Designer. So broadly speaking, there are three types of data that you normally deal with. The first is nominal. Now, nominal data is also called categorical or qualitative. So essentially, it's just a label, such as sex, age, or color. These are nominal data, but they don't have any sense of order. So there's no order or value assigned. Even though there may be value assigned to nominal data, it has no meaning. So you can't calculate mean or average of nominal data. So that is important to remember when choosing the right form of graphic when we create our chart. So now let's look at ordinal data. Now, as the word suggests, ordinal means something you can sort. So you can sort ordinal data, but you can't compute the size difference. Some examples of ordinal data are rank, satisfaction. Now assume you're doing a survey and asking your consumer about the satisfaction of certain product. So you may have dissatisfied, satisfied, and highly satisfied. Now you can assign number 1, 2, and 3 to them. So even though you can sort them, you can't compute size difference. Now the third and most important data group is interval and ratio. Interval and ratio can be measured, and it can be discrete or continuous. Discrete means it's a whole number, or continuous means it's a floating number. So you can use most of the aggregation functions on the interval or ratio data, such as sum, mean, average, standard deviation, etc. So this is the most highly desirable form of data type in your application. So let's look at some of the examples. So assume you're comparing weather between two cities, Atlanta and Chicago. Name Atlanta and Chicago are just the labels, and that is why they're considered nominal data. Even though I have assigned number 1 and 2, number itself has no meaning when it comes to nominal data. Now let's look at ordinal data. Depending on the temperature range, we can assign a value such as 1 is nice, 2 is hot, or 3 is extremely hot. You can sort them in the order, but it is not possible to compute size difference between nice and hot or hot and extremely hot. Now let's look at the interval data. So interval can be temperature ranges, such as 60 to 70 degrees, just nice, 70 to 80 is hot, and 80 to 90 is extremely hot. And the ratio then allows you to compute percent value. In this case, if you take 360-day calendar, you can compute percentage of days with nice weather, which is 33% here, 50% for the hot, and 17% for extremely hot. So now let's look at types of graphics that are suitable for each type of data. So let's start with nominal. To show nominal data, you can use either pie chart, bar, or stack bar chart. Now let's look at the ordinal data. For ordinal data, you can show it in bar, stack, but not in pie. And by now, if you understand the difference between the nominal and ordinal, you'll figure out why you can't use pie chart. Now let's look at the last, but the most important type of data, and that's the interval ratio. For that, you can use various forms of graphics, scatter, and that is scatter plot, a bar chart, or a box plot chart. Now you see why it is important to understand type of data you deal with so that you can choose the right form of graphic when you build your application. Next, we'll go deeper into visualization best practices. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next lecture.